Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Intuitive Gems. My name is Desiree, and I will be doing your money, wealth, finance, prosperity, abundance reading for the month of April 2021. For the readings this month, I'm going to be using my Trippin Waite Tarot deck. Last month, so many of you enjoyed the Groovy Waite Tarot, so this is another deck by that same creator. Very vibrant, very fun. I think a lot of you will enjoy it. I will clarify, as I always do, with my Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot. And then, Sagittarius, I will close out your reading with an Angels of Abundance Oracle card. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I hope you are having a good month, Sag. Okay, I think that's everything. Nothing more to say. I'm already getting some downloads in your reading here. All right, so what do we need to know for the sign of Sagittarius as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of April 2021? All right, Sag. Now, this is interesting because I have been getting, or I should say a lot of the signs have been getting this Tower card in reverse, right? And this is amazing because it looks like for you, Sagittarius, you really are showing up for yourself in a very, I want to say, a renewed way. And again, this is going to make things very interesting for you as it relates to your money. And it's going to be very interesting in a good way. Let's start here. The Tower card in the reverse. This is the card of rebuild, right? There was something that you were dealing with as it related to your finances that really had to be deconstructed. Something had to be dismantled. Something had to be disassembled. Something had to be literally broken down and started over again from scratch. And it looks like the hard part of whatever that was for you, Sagittarius, has already been done. Now you have moved into a rebuilding phase. Now this could be literal. This can also be metaphorical, figuratively. You know, sometimes we have to break down our finances, break down our budget, in order to come at it again with a new perspective, maybe with some new knowledge, some new education that we have learned. And it looks like that's kind of what you're going through, Sagittarius. You have kind of maybe reconstructed either, you know, even your mind, you know, maybe you've learned some things. Maybe you've taken a class, read a book, whatever the case may be, and you have kind of got some new knowledge that you want to put into practice here. So you've had to start from scratch again with your budget or your money or whatever. Could also be maybe you had to quit a new job. I mean you had to quit an old job, you started a new job. You know, whatever the case may be, there was something that was breaking down or something that wasn't working. I should put it that way. And so you realize that, hey, I need to kind of redo this, okay? And you're going to be in that energy within the first week of April. But see, this is where it gets really, really good. You've got two very powerful, positive cards here. And in some cases, I could even say these are powerful cards because of how they are showing up right here in this first row. So we have the Six of Wands here. The Six of Wands is the card of showing up and being seen. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to be, you know, on TV for, you know, some of you that may be the case. But the thing about this card is that it is the card of pageantry. It is the card of being in the spotlight. This is the card of being recognized, being acknowledged. So whatever it is that you're doing, it's working and it's bringing some good attention to you. Now, this is very exciting, especially for some of you who are entrepreneurs and you're trying to like showcase your business or maybe get your business seen or whatever. Next, we have the Nine of Cups. This is the wish card. This is a card that's very, very good because it talks about literally your wish being granted, you know, and whatever it is that you're hoping for, wishing for, you're going to start seeing signs of it here in this first week of April. All right, Sagittarius, now we're moving on to the Knight of Swords. This is the fast moving energy card. It means that once things really start taking off, they really start taking off. You have to be very, very, I guess I should say prepared, because when things start moving, they really start moving very, very quickly. You don't have time to waste. You don't have time to hem and haw. If something comes up, if an opportunity presents itself, you have to be very decisive and you have to take action. Next, we have the Three of Pentacles here. This is you again. People wanting to work with you, Sagittarius. People wanting to reach out. People wanting to connect. They see that you are an expert at your craft. They want to hire you. They want to buy your merchandise. They want to buy your products. They want to work with you. They see and they recognize the talent and the skill and the experience that you bring to the table. And people are noticing that. Now, again, I'm not surprised because remember, you're starting to stand out, be seen, be recognized for the contributions you make. And people want to connect with you because of that. Finally, we have the Nine of Swords here in the reverse. Nine of Swords in the reverse talks about your days and nights of worry, anxiety, frustration, disappointment. They're coming to an end. This is very, very good, Sagittarius, because, you know, and I'm not saying that life is going to be perfect and rosy and it's going to be all rainbows and lollipops. Not at all. But you're just in a very good place. You're in a very good headspace. You're in a good space emotionally. You're in a good space mentally, spiritually. And it looks like, from what I'm seeing here, April is going to really take you into a good place financially. All right, Sagittarius, let's keep the momentum going and see what else shows up for you as it relates to money, wealth, finances. Prosperity and abundance. Ooh. Okay. For the month of April 2021. Oops. Knocking stuff over here. Okay. All right, now this is a little bit more than what I normally have, but that's okay. Because when all is said and done, it's going to work out. We got the Star card here. This is excellent. Okay, but let's start here. We got the Guru. Now, the Guru is a card unique to this deck. But the Guru is also the old wise one, right? This is the one who has been through this before. This isn't his first rodeo. And I have a feeling, Sagittarius, that by the time we hit the second week of April, things are going to feel a little wobbly. And when I say a little wobbly, I feel like the best way to describe it would be things are going to be a little bit off for you energetically. And there's going to be some anxiousness. There's going to be some anxiety. There's going to be some trying to figure things out in the second week of April. Now, this is not anything to worry about. From what I'm seeing here, this is all part of the process of making you the person you need to be in order to create the results that you want. Now, especially as it relates to money. You know, when it comes to money, we have to change who we are if we want to have more, right? Because the person you are at your current level is not going to be the same person you have to be in order to up level, right? And so I feel like this is telling me that there's going to be a lot of shifting, a lot of growing pains, a lot of learning, a lot of making mistakes, falling down and getting back up. So the Guru here is saying that sometimes, you know, we have a lot of experience, but is our experience relevant to the journey that we're on? Is it applicable to the results that we're trying to create? You know, and sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. But you're going to have to really figure that out for yourself because, again, this is your experience, which is unique to you. We also have Temperance, which talks about things are a little off balance. It's not because you did anything wrong, not at all. But again, this is part of the process of creating the results you want, of getting the money that you want to get, of, having the experience that you want to have. The Moon card in the reverse tells us that there's going to be some information that was once hidden from you now is going to be revealed, and you have to figure out how you're going to apply this information, what you're going to do with it. This is something here that it's almost like enlightening to you in some way. And you're like, wow, I never knew that. Or, oh my gosh, now I understand. It's like, the curtain has been pulled back and now you see things from a different light. And now you have new knowledge or you have a new perspective. Again, that could be a little off-putting for some of us, because we have, we've been seeing things for one way for so long that now when something else is revealed to us, sometimes it takes a little time to process that. And it looks like you're going to be going through that once we hit the second week of April. The Hermit is also the card of being proactive. It means showing up. It's like you're doing your best. Sometimes it's frustrating because you feel like you're going, and things may not work out, but you are doing everything that you can. And everybody goes through these periods of it. They're constantly doing something, and either things don't work or you don't get the outcome that you were expecting. The thing is that you just have to keep showing up, right? You have to keep trying, keep doing, keep showing up, and keep doing the work. We also have the Nine of Wands here. Nine of Wands is the card of frustration. You're probably going to be feeling a little frustrated in the second week of April, right? And like I said, I have a feeling this is the growing pains that you're going through, Sagittarius. We also have the Six of Swords in the reverse. This means canceled plans to some degree. Could be a canceled trip, or maybe not canceled, but it could be delayed, postponed, altered in some way. But there's going to be some changes, right? And they're going to be changes out of your control, and you're just going to have to roll with it. Finally, we have the Justice card. This means decisions are being made that affect you, but you have no input, no say. You have no feedback. This is just a decision that's being made, and you don't get to say anything about it one way or another. Now, sometimes that could be very hard for a lot of people, but when we're talking about money situations, a lot of times that's how it is. We just play the game. We don't get to write the rules. So, the second week is going to feel, like I said, a little wobbly, a little unstable. But look at the last card that came out. We got the Star card here. The Star card is a very positive card, probably one of the most positive cards in the deck. And like I said, this is something you have to go through in order to grow, in order to up-level, in order to create the money that you want. All the lessons, all the feelings, all the frustrations that you're going through are not going to be wasted. It's going to make you who you need to be in order to create the money you want, the life you want. It's going to be a very profitable, I should say, growing process. And the other thing about the Star, too, is this is a card of celebrity, literally being the star. Now, I know that doesn't apply to all of you, but the Star really is being the star of your life, and things are just happening in a way that, people take notice. They want a piece of it. So I say all this, Sagittarius, I guess more to prepare you that if things feel a little off as we, move into the second and third week of April, don't feel like it's because you're doing something wrong, right? You're actually doing probably everything right that you can do, and you are moving towards your goals of having more money, of having a bigger business, of having, more investments, expanding who you are and what you are and what you do. So let's continue on, Sag, and see what else shows up for you. As it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance. For the month of, Okay. April 2021. Interesting. Look, got a repeater here. And you saw this was the last card that kind of shimmied its way out of the deck. And I know I've said it before, but I seriously think these cards have a very unique energy. So, you know, I'm just going to go with it because more cards are coming out than what I would normally pull, but when I look at the cards, it makes sense, you know. And it's funny because you got the star card twice, and both of them kind of, like I said, worked their way out at the end of the shuffle. The star card twice, the same exact card twice, is telling me to tell you to be reassured that April is going to be a good month. You are feeling maybe a little off, maybe a little lost, maybe things are not working, maybe you get bad news, maybe, you know, things don't make sense. But when all is said and done, things are going to be very, very good. You also have the Sun card here, Sagittarius. So let's start here with the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords, remember, we saw that card here. That's another repeater. This time it's in the upright. And I'm not surprised to see this, considering I told you this second week of April is going to be a very, you know, frustrating week, right? So you may feel like you want to give up, or you know, maybe this is not what, you know, this is not the journey for you. I'm going to keep going back to this. Spirit keeps saying things are going to work out. Push through. Keep going. Keep moving forward. We also have the Seven of Wands here. This is strained communication, right? So things could be happening in the second week of April. You're feeling frustrated. You're having conversations. People and family, friends around you don't understand. You know, so maybe there's arguments. Maybe you're trying to defend, you know, what it is you're doing and why. But again, this is part of the process. These are things you have to learn, right? And especially as it relates to your money, it's not a smooth sailing kind of thing. It's an experience and a journey that you will just have to kind of develop along the way. And you will learn what you need to know when you need to know it. Next, we have the King of Swords. King of Swords is that cutting away energy. This is releasing what does not serve him with no hesitation and no excuses and no explanation. The King of Swords says something doesn't work, it's gone. And it's a very diplomatic approach to money, to finances, to whatever. So I have a feeling once we hit the second half of April, Sagittarius, you are going to be very much in that energy where you are at the point where you are cutting off anything that is costing you peace, unnecessary time, or energy. We've already talked about the Sun. That's one of the most positive cards in the deck. I'm feeling like this card showed up just to reassure you that things are going to work out in April. Somehow, some way, you may not be able to explain it. You may not even be able to see it, Sagittarius, but things are going to work out for you this month, or I should say in April. We also have the Page of Cups. This means an offer that came through, something about it is not good. Somebody makes an offer, and you're considering the offer, but once you consider the offer, you realize it's probably not the best they can do. This could mean that you need to keep negotiating, or it could mean that you need to say no. It could be a job offer. It could be real estate. Excuse me. Could be anything. So just know that you're probably not going to be happy with the first offer that comes through if you're waiting for a particular offer. We also have the Hermit card. This is another repeater. Remember, we saw him here. And again, this is you really showing up. Sometimes it's like a busy energy. Now, sometimes when we're trying to make money, you know how sometimes you get caught up in that energy of, okay, I need to do something because I can't just sit still. So be very careful that you don't get caught up in that. Make sure that, you know, the action you're taking is productive action in some way. Don't just act or just, you know, don't just do something just to do it. Make sure that you are really thinking about what is going to be the best long-term and short-term action that I can take for myself and for my money at this time. Queen of Pentacles, this card shows up sometimes when we're a little bit, I don't want to say frivolous, but, you know, she's a very conservative spender. She's a very conservative investor. Sometimes when she shows up in the reverse, it means that we did something or we spent some money on impulse. Now, don't feel guilty if that's you, because everybody does it. But that's something we have to really be careful and we have to really manage if we're trying to create more money, right? There's nothing wrong with putting money aside just for fun or just for impulse spending. But make sure you carefully figure that out into your budget so you're not impulsively spending money that needs to be spent somewhere else, okay? Finally, we have the Emperor card. The Emperor card shows up in the reverse when things feel a little out of control. And like I said, I'm kind of picking up on that energy once we hit the second and third week of April, but it's not something that's going to be long term. This is a temporary situation. And if you can just kind of stay strong and keep pushing forward, Sagittarius, things are going to settle down. Things will come back into balance. Things will start coming together for you in a very powerful, and I want to say, the word supportive comes through, but I don't know if that's right, but I'll go with it in a very supportive way. Because money is a source of support for a lot of us. It gives us the things we need in order to live the lives that we do. So, when all is said and done, Sagittarius, like I said, we have confirmation that it's going to work out. We have the cards clearly communicating that things are going to work out. Even though it's going to feel and look like it's not, you're going to have to just trust the process and push your way through it. All right, I'm just going to pull a couple more cards to see how we close out the end of the month, but I think I've already got my answer. All right, so you've got some good cards here, Sagittarius. The Empress card, this means, maybe all of this is like the growth phase. You've planted the seeds and things are growing. Things are progressing. Things are happening in a very positive, beautiful way. You can't rush the process, but you also can't slow down the process. You have to go with it and you have to flow with it, right? Especially as it relates to your money. Three of Cups is the card of celebration. So at the end of the month, we already knew it was going to be good from the star, but the Three of Cups says that you're going to be celebrating, so that's very exciting. I hope you're ready for that, Sagittarius. Finally, we got the Five of Wands. There's still going to be some people not on board, some conversations where people just maybe don't understand your position and where you're coming from and what you're trying to do. This card is telling me to tell you, you're probably just going to have to accept that and maybe limit some conversations just so you don't get yourself all worked up and so you don't get yourself, upset over people trying to interfere with what you're doing, especially when they don't understand and they're not in the same place and they think they know better than you, but that's obviously not the case. So, Sagittarius, you have a very interesting month. Like I said, there's going to be pockets of a little uncertainty here and there. But when all is said and done, the Star card says, don't worry about it. Well, I shouldn't say not worry, but to at least trust. Trust the process. Know that everything is working out for your highest good and things will ultimately work out in your favor. All right, so let's go ahead and close out your reading, Sag, with a Angels of Abundance Oracle card. Oh, this is nice. Obstacles and blocks are lifted. Yes, all your good personal work and your positive energy shift have overcome previous obstacles and blocks are lifted away. You will now experience progress and forward movement with your projects. Stay centered in gratitude to ensure that your flow of abundance continues. Beautiful. So Sagittarius, I hope this was helpful. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you have any questions, drop them down below. And I do want to thank you for spending this time with me. We'll do it all again next month.